hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
Hello everybody and welcome to the cowtastrophe in Marvel Heroes. This is Marvel Heroes 2015 patch 1.32 and the first time we are seeing the cowtastrophe event. This is absolutely amazing. It is obviously based off of, first off, the inside joke from Diablo 2 where we have the bovine sector, and now in Marvel Heroes where we not only have the confidential bovine sector but also Bovenheim. It's just absolutely incredible. I'll get into the event in a little bit though. There's a couple of very important things. First off, we have Winter Soldier, who's going to be our next hero coming out. His pack is on sale. We also have BOGO going on for both heroes and costumes, which is the buy one get one free. So now is the time to get them if you need them. And we also have a really cool new costume, which is Wiccan. So the event itself, as I said, is the cowtastrophe. There's a couple of important things. First off, on Saturday, the 24th, if you log in, then you will get a free cow pet. A little cow that'll follow you around. It's awesome. The second thing is that you can actually play with David Cow King Brevik also on Saturday, and he's playing from 8 to 10 a.m. and 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you'll have to do calculations if you don't live on the Pacific coast of the United States. But either way, very, very exciting, some really cool stuff. And I'll talk a little bit about the event as I go on. I'm just going to go ahead and actually hop into Industry City Patrol here. Actually, first I'm going to do a couple other things. So we get a daily gift of both a portal for the classified bovine sector as well as for Bovenheim. I guess they do stack there. See, yay! And that's going to be every day of this particular event. And in addition, the purchasing them is actually a lot cheaper from Adam Warlock. I believe the classified bovine sector one is 30% off, and the Bovenheim one is half off. Where it, yes, 30% off and 50% off. Massive, awesome, fun. I'm actually going to head into Industry City Patrol because there is a new and very exciting wave that actually involves the cows. In addition, bosses can have a new affix that allows them to summon cows, which is really cool and random. I'm not going to spend too much time in here. We'll just see if we get lucky and are able to get it, or maybe see a boss with the affix. But regardless, the event itself, naturally, because it has to do with the cows, all of the cow levels, or both of the cow levels rather, are boosted substantially in both XP and RIF and SIF and all that kind of stuff. Well, not XP, but we have a server side 40% XP increase, and so-called to demonstrate the four stomachs of the noble bovine. As the patch note says. So it's kind of cool. It's a really interesting, I guess you would say, event, and I think personally that this is actually sort of a not necessarily foreshadowing, but sort of an initial part for the for one of the upcoming parts of the story, which is going to be the secret invasion with the scrolls, because we learn that in the cow levels, all of the cows there are actually scrolls in disguise. Or at least in the first one, the regular confidential bovine sector. So I'll stay for probably just one more wave just to see if we can get anything. But there's new uniques that are specific to the cow levels, the bosses, and mobs all throughout the game can actually drop the portals as well, which is pretty cool. So hopefully we'll be able to get some free ones at some point. And just some random stuff like the last couple of patches. This is primarily to introduce the event, although it's nice because this is a brand new one that we've never seen before, so that's kind of cool. And the other thing is the High Commander, the last boss of the regular bovine sector, actually has a chance to drop the portal for the second level, the Bovenheim level as well. That's pretty much it for the event. As always, there are some bug fixes as well, and there's also a mini event going on at the same time for Australia Day, where last year, if you were playing, we had buffs for Pyro, and we had a bunch of different drops, whereas this time we only have the drops. Hopefully I'll get some. We'll see. But the idea is that you can get the Australian flag, and you can also get koala bears, which are both essentially just for vendors, so that you can sell. So we'll wait until this thing is over. Hopefully, I'll get some of the Australia stuff, but I don't expect to. See if anything comes out of this. No. But either way, after this, I'm going to head back to the Avengers Tower, and then I'm going to do just a couple of other things. But just wanted to keep it relatively short and sweet for you guys today. All right. Well, that's it for me. I'm gonna head back to the tower right now. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. So this is pretty fun. I think it's going to be an exciting event, and to me, like I said, I think that this represents sort of a beginning of the next portion for the story, which is probably going to be the scrolls. Sorry. Which we've seen the devs talking about all over the forums for a good long while. Speaking of which, there are a couple of other cool things. One of them is actually an upcoming revamp of the team-up system, where we're actually going to be able to level and give power points to the team-ups just like we do with regular heroes. So that's going to be really, really cool, and hopefully that's going to be at the beginning of March, that we're at least in testing for it. So I'm really, really excited to see that. Very, very fun. But that's it for my patch updates for this one, for the 1.32. And what I'm actually going to do now, if you don't want to see the next part, you can go ahead and go. But I was asked on my YouTube channel by Sanit Roy, I believe is how you pronounce the name, how Star-Lord's elemental gun works. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that now. If you don't care, thank you very much for watching the portion for the patch update. I hope that you enjoyed it, and go out, get the uniques, get the new uniques, tell us all what they are, but as always, just have a great time. And if you want to stick around to see Star-Lord, go ahead. I'm heading into the training room right now. So the way that Star-Lord's element gun works is actually fairly simple. Excuse me. Basically, you've got 3 attacks that you can use. You've got the elemental shot, the elemental barrage, and the elemental blast. And then you have 4 different types of ammunition that change the way it works. So initially, you just have regular energy damage, regular rate of fire, spirit cost, etc., etc. But then, if you add the ammo onto it, it changes some of the effects. So you can see it says for air, it hits more targets. For earth, it does, you get an increased damage rating for area powers. Fire regenerates health, and water regenerates spirit. But for now, without having any ammo, this is what it looks like. It's just a basic shot. Okay? If we use, for example, I've got water here. If we use water, then now you can see I've got the ammo right here, and whenever I shoot, it now shoots the water ammunition. Excuse me. And it also regenerates my spirit. So you can see it's as if I'm not even spending any spirit at all. Alright? So what I'm going to do real quick, I actually forgot to do something I intended to. I'm going to set up my second spec, just so I can demonstrate all of the other powers here. Just because I don't have it set up. So we'll just get these so that I can demo all of them. Okay, and we will go with, oh right, activate. Okay, so there's that, there is that, and okay. So I'm going to show you the different attacks first, what they look like normally, and then what they all look like with the different ammunitions. Right, so again, this is just your basic blast, and then the next one is going to be this, the barrage, and then I'm going to do the blast. So this is the barrage. You can see it's just a much faster attack, basically single target, pretty exciting. And then, oops, wrong one. There we go, that's the blast. And now I use the ammo for it, so let me just waste all the ammo. But the blast is essentially just the AoE version of all of them. So I'll waste all my water ammo there. Alright. There we go. So you can see, with the elemental blast, it just charges up and then basically. Very simple. And you can see the all of the different effects that each one has. So we'll just go one by one. First we'll start with air. Right, so remember, with air, this is the one that ricochets. It hits multiple enemies. The barrage is very, very similar. And then the blast for the air is just a big giant ricochet, essentially. Or I guess you could call it a boomerang, which is appropriate because we've got the Australia Day thing going on right now. Right? Next is Earth. So the Earth one is pretty cool. This is just a bigger impact version of the regular shot. Same with the barrage there. It just sounds more gruff. And then the blast, same thing, big AoE. One thing that you may have noticed when you actually activate the what's it called? The ammos, they actually have some kind of effect that they do as well. Where you have the blast, you have the earthquake for the earth that knocks enemies down. You've got the air, which just shoots out an additional blast that bounces around, all that good stuff. So you've got the initial part from activating the ammo as well. And speaking of which, the last of the ammunitions is the fire. So that is the initial blast that you get, and then just the regular shot. You can see they get a little bit of the burning afterwards. The barrage, same thing. They've got, after you're done with the actual damage, then they still burn on. Let me get it activated again. And last but not least, the blast. Just big blast, as per usual. So that is how Star-Lord's element gun works. I hope that was at least relatively clear. I will say that more often than not, what people are using, what guides recommend, is to use water. I personally use water. I really like it, and the primary reason is because you get spirit back. It restores spirit, which is wonderful to have. But fire is another really good option because it restores health with just the basic elemental shot. But whatever works for the build. I personally don't use a lot of the elemental gun in my main build, which is this one right here. You can see I just have elemental shot and water, and that's it. I don't use anything else. Everything else I use with my main build is based off of Outlaw and Starship Commander. But regardless, I hope that you like that. I hope that my explanation was good enough for both Sanit and anybody else who stuck around to watch it. But with that, I gotta get going. I've got to go hunt some bovine and have a great time doing it, and hopefully get some of those nice new uniques. So with that, thank you all very much for watching, especially if you stuck around for all of this, and I will see you next time.
It's as sweet as candy. Its taste is on my mind.